Hi there, this is Kathy Crow. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sort of like looking which way is my camera facing. It's vacation time and I still am not in regular mode, I guess. I feel like I'm sort of caught unawares here today, but actually today is going to be kind of fun for you, special, I suppose. I don't know how many of you have seen stamps that are altered. I guess some people do it, but I haven't seen anyone actually really do it too much. But it's something that I'm going to show you today because one of the reasons I started ever doing this live video thing in the first place was because I felt like there weren't a lot of people who there's some, but there aren't a lot of people who are very unprofessional like me. I'm very unprofessional. I don't take a lot of time to do this, and it kind of shows. For those of you who really want to have professional advice, there's lots of it out there. And I'd like to share those links occasionally when I see particularly good things, because there's a lot to be learned from them. But there's some encouragement to be learned from us unprofessionals, and there's a few of us out there who never stop our camera. We once we get going and rolling, we are what you get. Very genuine, some for the good and for the bad. So as I'm saying all of this, I'm trying to get my page up here so that I can actually see comments. Facebook has actually made this very complicated. It was really easy when I first started, thankfully, because if it hadn't been, I probably never would have pursued it. If it had been as complicated as it is now, I would have just thought, I can't do it. So you can do it, but you have to have a little more help than when I started. You could kind of just start. All right, so all of that said, today, let me just get to what we are doing so that you even know whether you want to stick around or not. I am going to show you a couple of stamp sets. These are new ones. This is Hey Chuck. This is so fun because we actually used to have, our old pastor was named Chuck, and he's a great guy. So fun. And this stamp set, although he was not a chicken fan, I think he would really like it. I got it because I like chickens. I have some chicken stuff, but the Hey Chick and all birthday chick, those are so cute. And this is a nice addition to those. But because my name is Crow, I had to have something to crow about. You've got something to crow about because this is going to be so fun in our family all over the place. We do have one family that does do chickens. So I'm going to also use one die out of our Gone Fishing set. Now this is a great one that is probably still on back order because of course it was a Father's Day set. It sort of sold out during Father's Day. Imagine that, but it is going to be back. It's a really good one, so if you want it, keep going for it. But today I'm going to just use this one die out of it. It has this like cool little case that you can do with this, a little like a fishing tackle box sort of. And this is a great die all on its own. This little rectangle, curved corner die is a spectacular die. If you don't have a big die like this, get these dies. But this is the lid that goes to that, and this is the die that I'm going to use today. And we're going to use it for a chicken coop. Okay, so that's just going to be a little something special to do with that, but it has nothing to do with altered stamps. And I'm not actually going to be showing me altering my stamps. I'm going to just tell you how you can do it. It's something that you have to be really careful about because I have ruined stamps before doing it. So you do have to be a little careful. I have so many stamps that it's like, I don't even really care if I ruin one. It's okay. It'll be fine. If it was one I really wanted, I'll just buy it again. All right, I think there's a lot of other information out there in the Stampin' Up! World, but as we get going, I will try to remember what that is, and we will get going with it. This is my new stamp code for the month. If you do purchase a stamp set or anything at all, I do really appreciate it a lot. All of us that are doing this need to stay alive and in business, and we cannot do it if no one buys any stamps. So I do really appreciate it when you do purchase anything, even if they are small things. I really appreciate it. And on that note, I kind of forgot to mention it the last few weeks, but I am still offering to send $10 for every purchase of the, oh, what is it? Is it Courage and Faith? I think it is. I've got it up here with my Hope and Prayer set. And since I use it a lot, I don't even see it right at the moment. But it's one of the Bible stamp sets, and yeah, of course I can't even find it. It's in use. It's in use somewhere. But I think it's Courage and Faith, and that stamp set is a really nice one. So if you do purchase that one, I am sending $10 in your, well, it has to end up, I guess, being in my name because I'm the one that makes the donation. But it's in your name, and I will send you the receipt confirmation of that. And I'm trying to get myself in the frame here, and I'm having a little bit of complication doing that. All right, so I'm going to move some things around. So we have our stamp set here. I can move my phone, which is trying to keep my comments up. Today, what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's talk about Hey Chuck. This stamp set, you know, our family has a great sense of humor, and I thought some of these were pretty crabby looking. Our old Hey Chick and Birthday Chick, they had fun chickens. These chickens are not so fun. Look at this. Now, if you have we have a rooster actually in the neighborhood. He does crows all the time. Maybe he does look like this, but I don't know. I don't want angry crowing going on in my card. And this one has a frown. I think it's not really a frown. I think it's the wattle. The way the wattle line is just kind of makes it look frowny. I didn't like that. The eyebrows, the way they are just, they're okay, but I don't necessarily want, I didn't really like the expressions on my chickens. I know that sounds silly, but I just didn't. So what I did, let me get a piece of scrap paper out here. I took my chicken stamp, the ones that I particularly had the problem with. Now, first of all, I ended up having to trim very close to these because I knew I would be using these a lot. And on stamps that I'm using a lot, I tend to go fast with my ink and go thunk, thunk, and I'm pushing down, you know, sometimes harder than I need to, depending on how juicy your ink pad is. If you just are being kind of random about it like that, you can get yourself into trouble, but only if you have a lot of edges. So I've already trimmed very close to the lines, which I just did with scissors. Now, use a pair of crummy scissors, and yes, you will have to clean those scissors because it is going to get gummy gunk all over the place. So I'm trying to reduce some glare on the side here. All right, so what I did in order to get rid of the eyebrow is what's making this problem, and I actually want eyelid. I am going to take what I'm going to have to do now that I've already altered this stamp, I am going to have to take my pencil or a really good pen that's not going to smear, or your Stampin' Write marker, as long as you let it dry really good. And you've got the super, super fine tip. One thing about our markers right now, they just redid all of the markers. So if you get new markers, you're getting a brush tip and a bullet tip. Our old tips were a brush tip and a fine writing tip. The fine writing tip is gone, which I'm happy about because it ran out of ink super fast. So it wasn't all that useful. So our bullet tip's going to be a lot more useful, but I will not be able to use it to draw in my eyebrow or my eyelid anymore. What I did is I took my stamp and I used my X-Acto blade and found the line, which was this line that I removed. And I just took it and I just removed it with this very carefully in a little pair of snippy snip scissors that I could kind of pull the rubber out after I got it removed. You have to be really careful not to remove any of the lines around here that you want. And make sure you are getting the line you want to remove. The easy thing is that you're gonna, with some of these detailed stamps, it's way too easy to accidentally remove a line or even, you know, nick. You don't even want to nick into one of the lines that you're keeping. I didn't like his tongue sticking out. I mean, that's creepy to me. And so I am going to cut that away because I'll probably just always cut this stamp out when I use it. I don't care if there's some tongue sticking out there because I can change this around. But I didn't, that was, maybe I just don't have a good sense of humor anymore. I don't know. All right, so with this one, what I did is I removed the top of the wattle, basically, so that there's not an obvious, and it's right here. I just removed this little line. I'm going to stamp these because we're going to use them today, and then you're going to see what the result is. The eyebrow, I can easily get rid of if I don't, by just cutting this out, not cutting the eyebrow out too. It's sort of a floating eyebrow anyway. So it's very easy to do that. But this chicken has a very smug, prim, and proper look. So if that's what you want, is a prim and proper one that's viewing everyone with disdain, then this is perfect. But that is not the kind of card I almost ever do. Let's see, what other one? I think all the other ones were okay. It was just those that I altered. And that's really all I do to alter a stamp. You can, if you do not feel comfortable, you know, start with a stamp you don't like anyway. And just do one that you don't like anyway, and you're going to throw it away to practice getting rid of an exact line in the actual rubber stamp. You cannot do that with the photopolymer ones. They are too thin. You're going to snip wrongly on it. I don't think I've even tried to do a photopolymer. I just know that those are not going to work well. And because those can be somewhat problematic even just to stamp with on their own at times because they're very thin. It's nice to be able to see through them, but you do lose a little definition often, not always with that. All right, that having been said, the other thing you can do if you are not comfortable getting your blade touching your rubber stamps at all, and you never want to do that, you can always use any kind of piece of tape. And it's a masking technique, so you're not actually altering your stamp. Now, if I was going to get rid of the eyelid here, I would have a very hard time getting as tiny a piece of my little washi tape as I would need. You know, I would have to cut it and get a teeny tiny piece and then cover that, ink it up, and then peel it off without getting any of the other ink. As I'm talking, you can see how difficult that would be to do. You're going to end up smudging it, and you're going to end up having to draw in lines. So for me, it's just easier to just physically alter my stamp. I've done a couple of these already just so that I can easily put them. This is not altered, okay? So you can see it looks like a regular wattle. You know, when you've done it, doesn't really look too frowny. This one I'm sort of in the process of doing because I wanted to see what it was going to look like if I just whited out the frown line. See if I really liked that before I actually took a blade to it. All right, we are going to start the card. I know you've been waiting to start the card. Did you know that the word crow... I know everybody's probably heard of the phrase holy cow. I mean, a lot of us have silly little, what do you call them when you're not really swearing, but you're using an expletive of some kind, but it's not really an expletive because it's not using a swear word. Well, anyway, holy cow is something some of us used to say a long time ago, I suppose, and I still say it. Because my husband and I have developed quite a good repertoire of old-fashioned epitaphs. Not epitaphs. That's something you say when someone has passed away. Epithet, I guess, is the word I'm looking for here. I'm trying to get my other plate. Okay, because first of all, I'm going to cut out that die, so I needed to get my plates. But I didn't realize until I was reading an old Hardy Boys book that people used to say holy crow. I mean, somebody did, because Joe Hardy says holy crow in his non-swearing language. So anyhow, pretty funny. So the word crow you can use in a whole lot of fun ways. Now, so we're going to get it out again, just so that you know what I'm doing. Just this. You can see I've got a little fish all cut out, ready to go. The fish thing is very cool. I'm going to put those up on Pinterest. I doubt that I will actually do a crow. Crows are on the brain. A fish card. I'm probably not going to do a gone fishing card. You know, nobody in my family fishes, really. I have it because I do know people that fish. I don't think any of them. Now, this is Cajun Craze that I'm going to cut this out of because I want it to match my chicken, and the chicken is going to have some Cajun Craze in it. So that's what we're doing. I'm just cutting it out. Now, it does cut out a whole bunch of lovely little labels. If you want to save those for any purpose at all, then there you go. They're all fit and ready. That's just a scrap now. And my piece that I want is actually right here in the die. So let's leave this here for a moment because I am going to want, I'm going to want to cut out the chickens I've already done. I'm going to do a few more chickens so you can see how I colored them. I know that's something interesting to people, just to see what color combinations you're using. And along that line of thought, I just saw that Mary Fish, if you're interested in color combinations, she just put out some last week. Oh my goodness, fantastic color combinations. So check those out. All right, so what we're going to do with this to turn it into something that I can use as a chicken coop is I am going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut off the little hinges and the clasp for this fishing tackle box lid. And then we're going to use it on a portrait card to do our chicken coop. Okay. So let me grab our chicken dies. This set is a really nice one because of the weather vane. I think I'm going to use that too with that Cajun Craze. This sun is fabulous. I love it. But all the little chickens, there's a little skateboard, a little birthday cake. So I like it. It's a great set. I'm not at all unhappy with it. It's just that I think I've gotten more sensitive as I've gotten older to expressions. I don't mean verbal expressions. I mean the expressions on people's faces. I think that if people in general looked at other people more, they would see that they actually don't need to be as offensive as people take them to be. I know for myself, I have a terrible habit of, I'm going to cut out these fences. Aren't they cute? I have a habit of speaking my mind, which is fine if you're looking at my face. Because if you're looking at my face, you probably can see that I don't mean you any harm. I'm just blabbing and probably not meaning anyone any harm. But if you don't see my face and you hear what I'm saying, you might take offense at it. I could easily understand why you would. So I've gotten, with these stamps, I want to be careful what kind of, I want it to match my sentiment, you know. I don't want a crabby stamp when I'm trying to send a happy birthday. I don't want a crabby stamp when I'm trying to say you're going to have a great time doing something, or you're, wishing you luck. I don't want a crabby stamp. expressing. I just think I'd be sending mixed messages. When I was doing paraeducator stuff and on the playground, I recognized pretty early on in my career that my parenting strategy did not work on the playground because my children knew me. They knew that when I used certain words such as please or don't, I wasn't messing around. That was a command. That might not have sounded like a command because it might have had this inflection up at the end, but it was still a command. They knew it. They didn't challenge it. But the kids on the playground, I recognize pretty good. They don't get me because they think that I'm giving them options. If it isn't sounding like super commanding, then they think I'm giving them options, and there are none. There are none. No options. All right. These I'm not going to cut out. I think I want to redo those. Those are not good enough. All right. So we have got a good start going. Let me lower my camera a bit. I think I'm going to see everything just fine. And now that we have our cut out, we can do our card base. I'm going to just cut Calypso Coral is going to be my background. And we're going to just do a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now let's turn it upside down. I've got, I don't know what it is about me, but I always have this thing upside down. Never fails. And I'm going to go 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. There we go. All right. Oops. What did I just do? Nothing. Okay. Excellent. Good, good. That's the good news. Doing nothing is sometimes the good news. All right. So now we've got this. And then this, you can see it fits on there quite nicely. But we do need to cut off the hinges. So we're going to just cut that. That. Oops. Not perfectly straight, but that's all right. We'll kind of try to even it up there. This is it being a wooden chicken coop. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just didn't want the handles and the hinges on. And now you've got a nicely shaped chicken roost sort of thing going here. Okay. Once the chickens are in, it will look fine. I'm going to just use glue, although I might want some texturing behind it. I don't know. I haven't made this card ever before. I should have. But I didn't. So I'm going to take my chickens and let's see with the big fat one how they're going to fit in here. I'm not going to see a lot of my background anyway. I can see from this chicken, unless I use the one that's, I don't know, this one I think too is going to be too tall. His tail's going to be sticking up off the top of the card. So this is probably where my sentiment's going to end up going. You could turn it this way. It would be perfectly good as well. It's just not going to work with the design I think I want to do. I'm going to prefer to have it this way. Okay, so I'm just thinking I want to make sure that I'm getting my sentiment where I want it. I don't know that I'm going to want it there. Okay, we're going to work with it as it is, though. I don't know that I need to do any background stuff because I don't know that we have any hay. I know I have hay probably with something because I remember we did it with our other chicken ones. We had hay. And, you know, these are the kinds of stamp sets that you can find on eBay if you check, you know, if you want to spend a fortune. You should probably just, if you are not already a demonstrator, you should just bite the bullet. Get the starter kit right now. It's the best deal that you can find right now. It's going to save you a bundle every year. So this was our Hey Chick set. And I'm looking to see if we had hay. We had a cute little chicken coop, very tiny, had to be in the background, and it's super cute. I'm going to do something different, though. I've got some nice chicken wire from this set, but I'm not seeing the hay. I just thought I might have a piece stuck in here. I might have a chicken I can use. Let's get that out. That one was a fun one, wasn't it? As I'm looking in here, I'm thinking, oh, look at you. You guys are so cute. I love these things. I really liked the half-open egg. That was always super fun. This is why, another reason, you want to be part of our team because we use all of our old things. And I encourage my team to use it. Don't just use new stuff. We all want new stuff. It's not hard to encourage. Oh, this was the Hey Birthday chick that was in there. This one was cute, but it was good with the cracked egg. That cracked egg one was really cute. Now, I thought we had hay in here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm wrong. There was no hay. So we're not having hay. Okay, that simplifies things quite a lot, actually. All right, altered stamps. Back to altered stamps again, because that is kind of my theme today. I just definitely wanted to encourage people not to just, especially if you're just starting out, you cannot afford every stamp and die set that you see. And if you're limiting yourself at all, then, and even when you're not limiting yourself, even now, I find that I'll get in my head some vision of something that I'm quite sure I must have something like it. If I just find, you know, the stamp set that I'm thinking about, look at your stamps as when you're looking at a stamp. Now, with a chicken, you know, that's not going to work so well, but even with a chicken, you can look at just a portion of it and see if you see other things. Okay, so when you do that, it just is going to help you. You can start small, like with something like this, and you've got a cupcake, you know. Since it looks like it's a bite taken out of it, it would be so easy to alter this cupcake to make it look like it had a big bite out of it. You can use just portions of it to get what you want. I'm going to go ahead and trim this because this border is, you know, not quite matching. And I might layer this onto another card as well, rather than this just being the sum total. So I like to have the same matting around my little chicken coop. So let's attempt to get that. This is the danger once I've got something already mounted on. Trimming, I might trim too close, but you know, I'm gonna just chance it. And if I do, oh well, I think we'll probably live. Okay, so it's close. It's still a little, my trimmer, unfortunately my blade is getting just, that was way too close. So now we're going super close. It's sort of like a haircut. You know, your bangs, you're looking and thinking they're just a little tiny bit too long. So I'm going to just take a smidgen off. And then all of a sudden you look at the mirror and think, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go into the hairdresser now so she can fix this mess. All right, so that is a teeny tiny border, which I didn't really want, but that's what we have. So now, since I have such a teeny tiny border, we'll just probably end up mounting it on this. But I'm not going to do that because I want to see what we end up with before I decide what my background color is going to be. Because I'm probably just Cajun Craze would be better behind there anyway, don't you think? All right, so that being done, and we've got our chickens, we've got enough to get started on, and then I'll stamp and we'll do another card with my other chickens, because I think these are cute. I think these are going to work just fine right here. Let's cut this one out with a die, and then we'll stamp and color our other chickens. I don't think I'll need that one. But I do want one more. I was thinking you could, if you wanted to, you could put a fence here. Would work. Now, like here, I colored there a little out of my line. Well, just snip it off and it looks just fine. Just because you use the die doesn't mean you're not allowed to cut it also. So we could go like this, and we can go like this behind the fence with our chicken, or not. this. We'll put the chicken on the fence, and this one in here, I think is what we'll do, okay? And then that will be that card, and we'll finish that one off, and then we'll get stamping. You can see what colors that I'm doing those chickens, because I know that's always something that we're curious about. And when you have your blending pins, my colors today, so that you know, are Pumpkin, Cajun Craze, Daffodil Delight, and Poppy Parade. Okay, those are the only ones that I'm going to be using. I do use Copic pens occasionally, and I am not using any of those today. If I do use those, I usually, I used to to list those, but now I don't, because Stampin' Up! Has so many pens now. You do not need any Copic pens. You can find, with maybe one or two exceptions, you can find a good substitute with our blending pens, and they actually, I think, are better pens. In general, I like them better. I get them, they last longer for me. Not always, but almost always. And the thing is that the colors are gonna match everything we have. Now, I colored out of the lines here. Otherwise, I wouldn't worry about this little extra piece here that my die didn't cut out. But I was kind of sloppy coloring, and I still have to do his waddle and beak. Anyway, so let's do the little waddle. I'm going to use my dark Poppy Parade. He actually doesn't even have a waddle per se. It's just that. And the beak we'll do with our dark pumpkin pie. I ruined my tips by trying to add some alcohol ink to extend the life of my pen. That was too dark. I'm using this light one just to lighten that up a bit. Okay, so that is good. And good. And like here, I don't have, this one is T2. And it is a super, super light gray. I think our lightest gray is Smoky Slate. The light Smoky Slate just, it's still not quite dark or light enough for me. So that's really the exception. There's some of those grays. All right, so we've got our chickens done. We've got that done. What sentiments do we have? Oh, well, of course I am going to, I haven't used this set yet. So you've got something to crow about. You are going to get used so much today. I just don't even want to know how many ways we are going to do that. All right, so we're going to stamp in the middle of that, and then we'll figure out what die we're going to use on it, because I don't even know. And we better use Cajun Craze, since that's our darkest color. I've got like 3 colors going here. Calypso Coral, Cajun Craze, and Pumpkin Pie, and a tiny bit of yellow just to brighten it up a bit. That's pretty dark. Yeah, I guess we'll live with it. This would make a really good autumn card, wouldn't it? You could do some good autumn type things for it, but you can do any color. I saw somebody had got a really nice color combination going with Crumb Cake and Pool Party or something. It was really cute. All right, let's grab the cutter again, and then we can cut this out. Put that on the side. And you could, if you're stuck with dies, you know, you could just use this to do it. But I'm going to want to do something stitched. And I've got our Timeless Arrangements. It's got a lot of nice sized little rectangles. There's that one. There's that one's too small, so we'll go with that one. Jeff and I have, like, so Holy Crow is not the only fun thing we like to say. Swell. I told Jeff today when I came back from my exercise place, he'd already been there. He'd already been there and exercised. And so I knew he didn't see this. When I left in the parking lot, they had some woman, I'm sure, because no guy would have had this beautiful aqua color. The color of my nails only like very pale version, like more pale than this, but definitely aqua. Okay, it was aqua, and it was a Thunderbird, and with a hard top, not the convertible top, but just like in American Graffiti, that car, but not white. It was aqua, and it was like stunning. Beautiful. I'm not a car person, so for me to notice a car, it's got to be pretty special. And that one definitely was. I said, Jeff, you would have just died, you know, because it was that cool. And he was like, oh, was it in, you know, modified? Because he doesn't like the modified cars. And now if, like, I sometimes take my dark pen, I took my dark or light Cajun Craze, and I did some lines in this tail just to give it a little bit more definition, not quite so one-dimensional, but those lines kind of show a lot. And your lighter pens will lighten any ink up. All of these alcohol inks are beautiful for non-professional type coloring, to get the color to blend in. Since I'm not gonna use you know, a water base and then sit here with my paintbrush trying to blend colors and all that, you don't have to. With the blending pens, you can just start coloring like right over your thing and fix your line issue. So this is what we do all day long. We just play with inks and see what we get. It's fun. Believe me, it is fun. These little dimensionals are a dream. They are so easy to adhere little things onto. It'd probably be smart if I got my little pick tool out, though, because it tends to stick to my nail better than to the thing I want it to stick to. Hello. Okay, we got it. It took a while, but there we are. I have these all over the house. Every time I vacuum, I find those things all over the place. Jeff finds them all over the place in his bathroom, and he does not stamp. But his bathroom has the misfortune of being right across the hall from this room. So a lot of little trash things blow in there. Okay, so we're going to take this little fence and let's just put it across the corner of this card. Okay, like so. So cute. So you can say swell. I told Jeff it was a swell. That Thunderbird was swell. So Holy Crow, swell. Still the old Holy Cow, because it's just funny. You know, we were reading some books that junior fiction. Found these at our little mailbox center, and she said, "Oh yeah, it's kind of good." And it's written in the 40s and 50s, and right up our alley. And they say gleeps, and what else do they say? Well, there's been a swell. I think there's been one or two swells in. And, oh boy, I'll have to think about it. I'm not even sure. Okay, let's get our chickens in. How did I decide? Oh yeah, we're going to have one going on the fence. That's kind of fun. That's a design I remember somebody did last year. Or last year, what am I saying? This set, who knows how many years ago. It could have been last year. The years go by so quickly for me that I just think, oh my, that was a set we had just last year. And then I'll go try to find it on Pinterest and realize, my goodness, that set actually is 5 years old. I had no idea that it was that long ago. Okay, we've got to have our sentiment in here. So let's see how we're going to do this. I want this to still be like here. I might have to actually trim this to smaller. I could stick you back there. That would work. And we could even put this one in front of the fence and be very novel about it. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to have it just resting on the fence. So another thing about card making, you want to make sure it's level. So if I wanted it to be actually above the fence, I'd have to double the two on this head and 2 here, and then it would be sitting up above the fence. I don't think that's going to be necessary, so we're going to just do the one. For one thing, if you get too much layer going on here, then you are going to have to add extra postage. The postman will take this, it'll slip in those little slots to indicate that yes, indeed, this can be mailed when it's 1 layer up, but 2, and this one I think we're going to just glue on because I want it behind this one. So you just want to think not only aesthetics, but also how much postage do I want to stick on this thing to mail it. And if you don't have to do a ton, don't. Save that for your shaker cards. Okay, there we go. And then this probably can go right over the tail and be pretty cute all on its own. I'm getting toasty in here, even though this is a nice cool day. We're getting a cool day today. I hope you are too, although not as cool as some people in Montana. Jeff said that they got 4 inches of snow on a pass outside of Billings. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Or 4 feet. It wasn't 4 inches. Or was it inches? It can't have been 4 feet, but I think it was because they closed a pass. I'm so glad I don't live anywhere near the snow. Okay, so that is pretty cute. Pretty cute. So now let's try our, yeah, we are definitely going to want that under there because do you see how it just makes my skinny little mats stick out, and then you can kind of see what's going on there. Otherwise you don't even really know. What is she trying to do? Okay, I've got trash in the wrong place. Where did my trash go? All right, when I was in the mailbox place, they were teasing me because I came in and, you know, said that there was this, I had a new lady in Missouri. They said, a new lady to send things to because they have all of my addresses all saved there. So they said, oh, I don't think, how do you say Missouri? And I said, well, I say Missouri. And they said, we had a guy in here who said Missouri. And the thing is that he didn't only say Missouri. He also said Missouri as we were talking to him. So we know that he's not really from here. And I said, yeah, anyone who's from here is going to know I'm not from here. So I'm not even going to try to pretend. And I said, and frankly, I don't really, they said, yeah, well, you got to be, you know, some people really do care about that. And if you're not from here, they're going to let you know. And I said, I just don't even really care because if you guys let me live here, I am feeling very grateful and privileged to be allowed to live here. So you don't even have to treat me all that well. I'm just happy to be able to be here. So they laughed. They said, yeah, we don't know anybody who says Missouri. I said, I actually find that quite endearing and cute. So they can say it however they want to. All right. You just never know what people think about what you're saying, I think, sometimes. Okay, I love that. You've got something to crow about. And that one is so fun that even if these guys are a little bit snooty and crabby, the fun one always wins out. You just need one fun one in the group, and then everybody's happy. Now, I would put this one on just a white base card And we'll deal with that in a minute because I want to get going on my next one. And we might not have time to actually finish that one. What I want to do is see how did my altered stamps stamp out. Okay, so we're going to get this one. I did take out the little top of the wattle there just because when I was looking at it, it looked, well, if I don't color in the wattle just like that, it'll look kind of crabby. So we'll see how it turns out with my altered wattle. Okay, so now you can see there's no, the wattle is here. It's not here, and it changes it. I can actually make a nice little smile here if I well, you can't, I guess, because the beak is where the expression is. If you take out the eyebrow, it might help a little. I don't know. It doesn't matter. On this one, I'm not as bothered by. It's going to be an easy one to work out because that one could just be thinking, I can't believe she's saying and doing what she is. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, this is the one, though. Remember, this is the one I really super altered, and you're going to laugh when you see how he looks. Now, because he's got like a half of a face. Still got his tongue, but I can cut that out. But you can see how I just took out the eyelid. I did not want that eyelid. So we took it out, and now let's see what we can do with it to change his expression. He's still going to have his tongue sticking out of his mouth, hanging out. You know, there's an age when kids stop doing what you're telling them to do. I know it's shocking, but it's true, they do. And then suddenly all of their pictures have not this beautiful child smile in it anymore. They have their mouth hanging open, trying to make a funny face. They've decided they don't like their smile face as much as their, I'm pretending to be super cool, and I'm going to use my black pencil. And we're going to try to do, we're going to put the eyelid up here like this. And we're going to give him some eyelashes. And we're going to make this eyeball just a little different. Oh, he's got like some super eyelid going on here. I'm not sure if I like that. Let's stamp it again and do it again. No, that's kind of close, but not really. I mean, with the tongue out, yeah, he's got a sleepy eye. Kind of looks almost like a Dean Martin type chicken. I don't think I want that. I don't think that's quite what I'm going for. So let's try again and see how else I can do this. So there's our chicken. I actually kind of like it just as is. I might not want to do a lot with it. I kind of like how it turned out. It's got to have something of an eyelid, though. Can't have no eyelid. So let's work it and see how far we can go here. Gone about as far as I can go, I think. I can't do too much with the eyeball. Otherwise, it just makes it look like it's got too much going on there. Okay, we're going to do an eyelash and an eyelash. Oops, my pencil broke. And an eyelash. Okay. All right, and we need just a little bit. Oh, I gotta sharpen that one. Now this is my white, and I need to sharpen this guy. It's pretty dull. That's funny. I must have been coloring a lot with white somewhere along the way. I do have an electric sharpener, but it tends to ruin things. Okay, let's see here. It broke like instantly. Okay, there and there. It keeps breaking. Oh, come on, you can do this. I do have a gel pen, but I don't think I need to go there. I just need some more white right in there. Okay, now it's got a sleepy eye, but at least it looks, I don't know, with the tongue hanging out still, of course it looks still really stupid, but we're gonna be getting rid of that. Now, if you want to get rid of the actual tongue sticking out, then you are going to have to get a white gel pen, because you don't want to get rid of the lines of his beak, right? And you're not going to really get rid of the tongue. It's still going to be sticking out, but your white gel pen can kind of get rid of some of it. If you just dab it on the tongue's lines, it's gonna help. And then when you color, you can color it out. But you are definitely gonna have to cut this one. Now these do not, this one has a dye, but you know, it has the tongue sticking out, so you're still gonna end up snipping that. All right, so there we go. Let's color it. So you know what we're gonna be coloring. And we do want another chicken too. These are pretty cute. I like these. This one and this one is particularly fun. Now, if you don't want the shorts, this is a place that you can put your washi tape, but be prepared to draw a nice little skirt or something on her, or ruffly feathers, because I don't know how to do a chicken bottom. If I did, then I might want to just do a chicken bottom, but I don't. You just saw what I can do on an eye, and I'm not great at it, so unless you're a lot better at it than I am, you're probably going to just be stuck with what you get. Fun, fun, fun. Now, all of these, as I said before, you can see I've cut really close to the lines, and then that way I can just stamp right on here without worrying about it. And I've got a sentiment I'm actually not going to use that I was using on another card earlier. So we're just gonna ignore that. This is my scrap. Okay, now let's color, and we'll cut out, and we're gonna quickly assemble this onto another card, and we're gonna be all good to go. So we're gonna start out with the big fat one. I like this one. And let's do dark Cajun Craze. That's light. And we'll just do the little feathers. Okay, we're gonna just color the bottom this color. I'm gonna do the feet while I'm here with this color too. Actually, I've got my pumpkin pie out. Let's stay with pumpkin pie. All right, so that's that. Let's do a little bit here. Oh yeah, a little bit in the tail. And while we're at it, let's do this one too. We're gonna do their little comb here and probably the frill around the neck. Oh, maybe the tail. Okay, oh, if we're gonna do that, we better have a match. I like them to match. You don't have to have them match, but I kind of like them to match. Which one am I using? And this one's as good as this one. This one is I can see its eyelashes a bit more. Maybe we'll do this one. Now, actually, on one of these, I took a chicken head. Actually, I took my fat chicken head, and I trimmed it and cut it out. And I am going to use it as a bobble chicken head on one of these. You could do it for any of them, really. You could, if you didn't like that one, you could use it as a little bobble head. Okay, so let's color this one too, and we'll decide if we're going to use it. I don't know that I'm going to, but I think I have a bobble that'll fit. You can get little tiny bobbles. I saw Erica Serwin had a video out how to make your own little baubles with a little spring. It's really easy to do. My problem when I've tried to do them before is that, is this really light? It is. It's not really very light. I can't get them to adhere to my card all that easily. That's my problem. Okay, that seems pretty dark, so we're not going to use too much of light Cajun Craze. Let's use a little bit of yellow. This is Daffodil Delight, the dark one, and I'm gonna kind of undercolor here with that, because I'm gonna go over it with Pumpkin Pie, but I'm just kind of using this to lighten the color up a bit. In fact, this chicken's gonna be yellow anyway, so we'll just do this one like this. And then we're gonna use Pumpkin Pie on top. Which one am I going with? I keep forgetting. Does it matter? They're both equally hideous. This is a chicken and it's like, this one's demented. If I had this one in the yard, I think I would just say, okay, that one can go in the stew pot, because we have this rooster that crows quite a lot. I have no idea how close he is to us. We hear him very plainly every day that we sit out on our deck and have our coffee. But he has a very nice voice. I don't mind it at all. Okay, there. If you have a chicken that's really loud, you probably have a different story. Ooh, that's the dark one. I don't want dark. So here's our light Pumpkin Pie. And I have a new one because my tip, oh, this is the new one. Good, because my tip on my old one was not very good. This is going to help kind of color that in, but it also is going to blend things a bit more here. The light Pumpkin Pie is super light. And as you go over your colors, you can see them kind of running away, kind of like when you put salt with pepper, and you can see the salt or pepper, whichever you're looking at, running away. Kind of what it looks like. If you like to read Nancy Drew books, because I love to read my old Nancy Drew books, they're fun. And the Hardy Boy books too. They're so fun. You don't ever have to worry about odd belief systems, creeping in. And those Ginny Gordon books were really good too, in the same vein. And so I'm just passing that information along to you if you want to hunt them down. They're not easy to find, actually, because the author is the Trixie Belden lady, and I never read any of those. I assume they're good. I wouldn't know, really. But there were only 5 of them. They weren't as popular, apparently. Okay, we want to keep that one yellow, but let's go with our light Pumpkin Pie. Now you can see this tip is sort of looks furry a little bit. It's damaged. Like I said, I think I tried to extend the life of my pen by adding some alcohol ink to the tip, and that ruined my brush. So don't do that to your pens. Just buy a new pen. You can add alcohol. It only is going to extend it just a teeny tiny bit, and then you will have a damaged tip and have to buy a new one anyway. Okay, so there we go. There's our chickens, and then I want to use my dark Pumpkin Pie for their beaks and their legs. I'm just barely touching the paper. If you put your tip all the way down, it's going to spread out. And in that case, if you're just starting out with these blending pens and you're not real fluent with them yet, just use a marker for these little legs because they're pretty skinny. These chickens are elderly, I guess, because they kind of look like my legs. They're pretty skinny compared to the rest of the body. Okay, there we go. We're going to get rid of that tongue. All right, and now we need to finish out that eye somehow, because that eye, you know, I don't know. It'd be almost like I'm tempted to make a bloodshot or something. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. All right, so the wattle. Let's use our dark Poppy Parade, and we'll give it a nice wattle. Oh, we forgot her little beak. Okay. I think that's good. And let's see, color combinations. Let's just go ahead and do her shorts with those dots and some gold. Oops, not that end. That's my ruined end. There we go. And what did I miss? Oh, her beak. I missed something, I knew. Her little beak. Okay, there we go. Now we can cut these guys out and assemble, and we'll be, oh, wait, let's get this one finished out. I'm going to use my pumpkin pie, the dark version, here, and the light version here, and the wattle. And the beak. And then if I want to do a wobble card with the head wobbling, I've got my wobbling head all cut out and ready to go. All right, let's cut these chickens out and we will be all set. Let's see, what in the news have I got here for you guys? I do have a joke, but you know what? One of the things that I bought over the weekend and had Jeff help me with was a new squirrel baffle. We have, you know, a few bird feeders, and we had so many, we had like 5 squirrels coming, and he originally had like 1. They were just being such hogs, eating all the birds' seed, and I had this great baffle on 2 or 3 of them. I guess 3 of them. We have 5, I think, out there. 5, not 4, 5. And so I said, Jeff, I think I need to go get another baffle, and because they're just eating them so fast, I'm not going to buy that much seed. So we went out and we got the baffle. We got it up, and that squirrel, oh my goodness, he leaped like a 3-foot, I think, leap and grabbed the rim of the one that's their favorite one that I was denying them, that they were just feasting on. It held more of the seeds than any of the other feeders. It's like, seriously, you squirrels, you're such pigs. And he was eating away up there. So proud of himself. I went right out and he ran to the tree, and Jeff went out later and he fixed the baffle so that they couldn't possibly do it. So they haven't been, I have not seen them in there, thankfully. The squirrels are really funny. I find I forgot to color her legs. I'll have to get that. That they dig little holes all over our yard to bury their nuts, but they must slow down at this time of the year because I haven't seen any out there. We do have Japanese beetles here. Glad I put oh no, did you get cut out wrongly? I hope not. I think one of my dies might have shifted slightly. But I think my roses got saved. When you plant bare root roses, it says not to put any systemic on those right away. Let them get a little bit bigger. And I didn't obey that. I put a tiny, tiny bit. See how it shifted? It barely missed off her little legs. So we're going to cut off some of the extra here just because my die shifted just a little bit. Doesn't look quite so obvious that I had that issue. And then where I, again, got out of the lines, I'm not trying to be perfect at coloring, apparently. That's pretty good. I think these are fine. We're going to take this tongue, and I'm going to need to get little tiny snips on this one, though. I can't just use... Oops, I lost my lid. Okay, so we're going to take teeny tiny snips and come around this beak. If you're cutting off any part of a stamp, you got to get all of it. You cannot leave your little border at that particular point. So we're going to do that. Aha, much better. I just didn't like the tongue. I don't know why, I just didn't. I have an irrational fear, I guess, of people sticking their tongue out at me. All right, there we go. So cute. Might as well stick with our same color scheme, since that's what we've got out here. And I can do the same thing with my other deal too, but I'm not going to because I kind of want to use that sun dye. This little sun dye is really cool, don't you think? Let's do that and we'll stick that on. I just need to find a tiny scrap of Daffodil Delight or any such color. And I'm going to cut out on the side over here. I'm going to cut out two. I think we want to do two of these suns. If I do two of them, then I can play with it a bit more. I'm not sure that just the half is going to work out so well. So there's one. It's nice. It cuts it out really nicely. I don't have a lot of stamps that have a good sun dye. There are some. Remember Frenchie did a After the Storm stamp last year. That one was really nice, and you could do some sun kind of things with that. I also really want this weather vane. This weather vane's pretty cool. So let's grab, let's see, will any of my little scrap pieces be big enough? I doubt it. Not quite. Close, but not quite. I think I've got a Cajun Craze here somewhere. Maybe not. I'm not seeing it. We can do some cinnamon cider will work. I've got that, or something. Anything will do. That's kind of in the color family. This one, because it has that pointy arrow, let's see how easily it falls out of its dye. Oh, it fell right out very nicely. Okay, perfect. All right, so we've got our weather vane. Our Cajun Craze. Let's put it on Calypso Coral. And trim our Calypso Coral, I think, to match this size. Where is it? There it is. Okay, first of all, let's see what we've got. We've got 4 1/4. We'll make that 5 1/2. And then we'll cut this one at 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we're just going to do standard stuff. Put our sun here. Oh, where did I put my fence line? Because I had a couple of fences still left out, lying about. There they are. Okay, so you can put your fence line with your sun. Put our chickens out here. however you want. They're pretty fun, all of them. Like this one here. That one could be here. However you do them, they're going to be pretty fun. They're just fun. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got, I don't have any real lines. And I'm thinking I would like to have some kind of lines on the ground. And since I'm not seeing any there or there, I'm going to just take my pen and I'm going to just add them in. So this is our current, last year's and previous year's bullet tip. It was actually a very fine writing tip. And I'm going to get out the bullet tip so you can see what that looks like. I'm just putting in some lines just so we have something more there on that ground. I don't have, let me see, what do I have here? Here's copper clay. So copper clay has the bullet tip, which looks like that. Okay, it just makes it, I can get a wispy line with our old markers. But with this bullet one, you're definitely not going to get anything too wispy. Okay, just for you to know, I do prefer the bullet one. It's nice, very, very nice. All right, we need our sentiment to fit up here, and I'm still going to do, you've got something to crow about, just because, and we want it in Cajun Craze. Of course, try to open the correct side, that would help. We saw a really big muskrat in our neighbor's yard when we were out there listening to the rooster crowing. My crow didn't come out really all that good. If I was using our old Stamparatus, I could have just stamped it right down again. I think it was Jeff came in and looked it up. It's either a muskrat or a rock chalk. Anyway, it was quite large. Very cool. Let's see, what did I just do with that? With my Cajun Craze. Now, the other thing with our old Stampin' Write thing is I could actually, if I flubbed my stamping, I could actually fix it with my marker. I would not try that with our new bullet tip. That would not work. When you have the name Crow in the back, you know, as your last name, this is a great stamp, because now I can even just use it for my name. Pretty funny. For those of you who have names like that, I'm sure you appreciate it too. If you've got a name that has a meaning to it. I mean, everybody's name has a meaning to it. That doesn't sound right. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do our dimensionals. Try to make our fence line kind of meet up. I'm going to leave the ends open. Where did I put my dimensionals? There we go. I'm going to have to get a new sheet out pretty soon. When Jeff and I were leaving our coffee place on Sunday to go to church, we saw in the parking lot a scissor-tailed flycatcher, and we weren't really even sure what it was. It was all white, so it was stunning in the parking lot against the gray asphalt. So cool. And so as soon as we were done with church and came rushing home, Jeff looked it up to see what it was. And its tail in flight was so cool. I put it on our little Tri-City Crow Garden page if you want to see it. But of course, I don't have a professional camera, so it didn't quite do it justice. And you could go online if you Google scissor tail and see what they really look like, though, in flight. They're so beautiful. It was a treat. our Sunday treat with our coffee. Okay, so it actually does catch flies in mid-flight. Its flying pattern was erratic. We weren't really sure what it was doing, so. Okay, that there, this here, maybe not. Maybe not that one. I don't know. I'm still not thrilled with this one. I might leave them out entirely. You kind of have to, if you got the word crow, you kind of have to have the one crowing. So we'll stick him up. Now I can see why she looks like that, because if he's doing this right in her ear, yeah, that would be annoying. I can see why she's got that look on her face. I might look like that too. Actually, that's probably why I don't like some of these expressions, is because they say, you know, opposites attract. Well, unfortunately, that's exactly the expression I would have on my face. Like, I cannot tell a lie. You guys know exactly what I'm thinking, even when I'm trying to be nice. You can tell I'm not really being very nice in my thoughts. Okay, that one there, that one there. See, they're so cute. I can't leave any of them out. They're too fun. Again, go on Pinterest and see all the different ways these have been colored. They are so fun to do. Lots of different options. And they're not at all realistic, and I love that. Okay. One little mini for her head. You know, you could put on her, she could have some really interesting hairstyles, I think. I think that one would be nice with the birthday cake. Something unique. Oh, I forgot to color her legs. Rats. Let's see, what have we got here? I'm not really seeing, I don't see a pumpkin pie. I think I ran out of pumpkin pie. My right on marker. And that eyelid I didn't color, but I think I'm going to leave it off because it kind of, coloring those eyelids is going to kind of conceal its cute personality. All right, I have a really cute box thing planned for next week, I think. I'm trying to see, how do I want to do this? Maybe we will cover her feet since I flubbed them. All right, oh, the weather vane, we're not going to get that on. That's going to be like way too much. But the weather vane's cute if you want to use it on another one. That would be good. And, oh, I forgot the bobblehead. The bobblehead would have been fun on here. Like, I could have put the bobblehead on here. Wouldn't have really matched her very well. If you want him to be running and not screeching, you could put his little shaved, this one's little shaved head. Put that on its body. You see, that would actually be okay. I might have to try that on a different day. All right, so those are our crow cards. And again, don't be afraid to alter your stamps however you need to. I'm going to start, though, only with the ones that you don't care about, so that when you ruin the first set, you have not ruined something that you like particularly. You know, there's a lot of rubber stamps for very inexpensive in the, oh, I need a mat on that, at the secondhand stores. So if you want to practice on any, see, white inside, I can even use my little weather vane inside, can't I? Should I do that? You could even put a little chicken head in there if you want to. That would be good. What I need is another mat on this. So You know, I think maybe, let's try our Daffodil Delight. I bet you I have a piece in here. And let's see how that looks. I don't usually put that with Calypso Coral, but that might be bright and kind of different. I'd rather not do that. So 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I think it's gonna, oops, that bent when it fell down there. Aha, perfect. Very cute. That'll be very nice. I like those. Those are fun. Those are very fun. I'm so glad I got to these finally. It's taken me a while. Appreciate your hanging in there with me and waiting for me to get that done. And thank you for your comments and for sharing my videos. I very much appreciate it. And I have a newsletter if you want to sign up for those. I do tutorials each week. And again, if you're taking advantage of that, I really appreciate it when you make even a small purchase with me in my Stampin' Up! Store. Thanks so much. Right now, you have one more week for the Join Now special. Somebody said, okay, it's $155 worth of Stampin' Up! Stuff of your choice for $99. But I think the shipping is free, and you get a free paper pumpkin. And so it ends up being quite a lot. It's worth like $170 something, you know, for your $99. So it's a really good way to stock up some Stampin' Up! Stuff if you're not a demonstrator already. If you are looking for a team, I do my team meetings. In fact, I could get my little packet out. I've got them all ready to be sent to you. Oh, hey, Michelle, you are watching. It's nice to see you. I have got our kits all made, and they are ready to be shipped out. I just have to kind of type up a little bit of a explanation for each one so that you kind of have an idea what you need, because we are doing Les Shop for one of them. If you want to, you could do other things, but the Les Shop is going to look really nice. It's a little pop-up in the center, and it's going to be fun. So anyway, if you want to do something like that with a team, we do it online, and we would love to have you join us. And anyway, I think that's it for now. I will be back next week. It is going to be hot. So hot here. It's going to be the hottest for us here in Missouri this next week. At the end of the week, it's supposed to be up to 100. Can you believe it, Michelle? And I think it's going to also be humid. So I'm probably going to actually stay inside all day for the next, well, starting on Thursday for the next 3 days. So on this weekend, 4th of July weekend, I am not going to be out. I got to get to the store, make sure I'm not going to have to go out there and do anything. I want to be inside. It'll be nice and cool in here. So I should be all ready to go. Now next week is the day before the 4th of July. Woohoo! I am not sure what I'm going to do, but I do have a fun fold. So I think whatever we do, it's going to be fun. If you got a fun fold, it's got to be fun. And then you guys have a very happy, blessed, and safe 4th of July if I don't see you and for some reason. Then I will see you after it. And I hope you have a good time. I've got some holiday nails you'll be seeing because I'm going to put them on today. And Color Street had a sale on their nails. Buy one, get one free. So I bought, I think, a few. So I'm going to be wearing 4th of July nails, I think, for a while. So you'll just have to live with it. Thanks again, you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.